speaking of their new wide receiver, Hollywood, uh, let's go around the room here. Are you drafting him at his current ADP? He's currently 57 overall, a wide receiver 23. I personally feel like that's a fair value for him. I think he'll probably end up finishing above that wide receiver 23 where you have to draft him. But what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with you.
Yeah, for sure. I think so. I think it's a great value because there's two cases here. One is you're getting that extra target share while Hopkins is gone the first 6 weeks, which we've seen him already, command a massive target share alongside Mark Andrews and Rashad Bateman, even in a low volume offense. So it's clear that he's somebody that quarterbacks are looking after. Now, when you get Hopkins back, you tend to see a lot of the top wide receivers that score in fantasy, they have another like elite wide receiver alongside them. So I think in the first 6 games, we're going to see a bigger target share for Marquise Brown, and he'll do well with that target share. But I think what we're going to see in the second half of the year when Hopkins comes back is going to be much more efficient on his volume. And I think that will actually be when he starts to shine. So I don't like the fact that he moved up in ADP because Hopkins is gone, because I think it works both ways in that sense. But I'm completely fine with him there. Like he was 1,000-yard receiver last year. He finished top 24. Like why would he not do it again in a higher volume pass offense with a quarterback who is more comfortable and familiar with him? Going back to the days, I like it right there.
Mm-hmm. Russ?
The combination of Tyler Huntley and Lamar Jackson were, I believe it was last in the league in accuracy for balls thrown over 20 yards. Kyler Murray was third from the top. Like you just said it. I pulled it up that points per game, Hollywood finished as wide receiver 21 with Huntley being bad, with Lamar not hitting him on all of these plays where he was. I didn't see them, just assume he was open, but I'll believe he was because it makes me happy. And I'm all here. Like I was thrilled fantasy wise when mind blown when that trade happened in the first place. But I loved it. That it was like, to me, like that was perfect because I drank the Kool-Aid on hating Hollywood Brown when he was in the draft process. He's small. He can't, BMI Twitter was at its best back then. And then the second he got in the NFL, I'm like, that's wrong. This guy's good. And it always seemed like they did not use him to his potential, especially because they're such a run team. They run a lot of plays in Arizona. So I think it's going to be awesome for Marquise. And you're right. The second Nuke comes back, just picture it. You're going to have, Hollywood running a go route, Nuke running a post route, and then Rondell running a slant. Like you literally can't cover that. Like that is going to be ridiculous. And that is going to be so much fun to watch.
Throw in AJ Brown just falling down in the middle of the field and causing a big distraction, or AJ Green, sorry. That's going to be
AJ Brown. That's tough. I mean, I just need to get this off my chest real quick because you mentioned AJ Brown and Russ mentioned about the Hollywood trade. I love AJ Brown. Like that's my guy. And when the Cardinals traded for Marquise Brown and they traded first round pick, my first reaction was, like that's fine. Get Kyler his guy. They're in contract negotiations with him. Like it's kind of a good faith thing. He's a good wide receiver, all that. And then, 5 minutes later, you're watching the draft and then you see the Titans just absolutely trade away AJ Brown for exactly the same thing that the Cardinals did. And then now I'm sitting there and I'm just tilting my face off. Like I'm not going to curse on the show, but like, what the hell are we doing, guys? What the heck are we doing? HE double hockey sticks doing over here? Like, unbelievable. So, yeah, I mean, it still hurts. It still hurts deep down, but
I'm sorry to divert your attention with that Freudian slip.
First and a third.
I feel like you purposely threw in an AJ Brown comment. Right
I just knew it was going to get your goat somehow. Alexis, what do you think about Hollywood Brown this year?
I think he's going to do great. I've always been a fan of him. Drafted him in my rookie draft for my Dynasty League the year that he came out. And I think it's a real opportunity for him with DeAndre Hopkins not being able to play. I mean, the first 6 games, I mean, that's your guy. That's wide receiver one. So, and I think that he does have the opportunity, even when Hopkins does come back, like Russ was saying. I mean, he fits right into kind of like this trio role where all those receivers play their own role. I just am like, I really like Rondale Moore, and I don't want him to kind of be like shoved into the shadows and just kind of like forgotten and not used because they have all these other great receivers. AJ Green, Andy Isabella as well. I don't really know if he's actually done good in the league or not, but I liked him coming out. So I'm very curious to see how the receiver situation plays out in Arizona. But I mean, I would definitely draft Marquise Brown in any leagues I was doing this year. I'd be surprised if him and Kyler like completely just didn't do well. I don't see a situation where that happens. So yeah, I'm in on him.